Hey, what's up guys? It's Pedro here from NodeJS.com, and welcome to part 10 of building our CRUD application from scratch. So in this tutorial, we're going to be making a HTTP put request using the fetch API. So in the previous tutorial, we coded our app.put route. So this is the endpoint that we're going to hit. We're using route params, and this is going to be the ID of the document that we want to edit. We're also sending data back via the body, as you can see here. And this is going to be the data that we want to update with. So right here, you can see that we are finding by the ID. So this gets the document that we want to update. This is updating the document here. And if you scroll here, you can see that we're sending back the result, whether or not we were successfully able to update the document or not. So now let's actually head over to our index.html file and actually code this. So I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to call the function edit to do. And it's going to take in 3 parameters. First is going to be the to do. Second is going to be the to do ID. And third is going to be the edit ID. The first parameter to do is obviously the document that we want to edit. To do ID is the ID of the to do. And edit ID is the ID of the button. So now let's just come down here. And now from here, what I want to do is actually get our button. And once we get our button, what we want to do is attach a click event to it. So I'm just going to say edit button.click, pass in our callback. And from here, we can use the fetch API to hit our endpoint in our server. So I'm just going to say fetch, and the endpoint is / and the ID of the to-do that we want to edit. The second argument is going to be our options. So we're just going to say method, and we're going to set that to a put request. Next, we're going to set our headers, and our headers are going to be set, and they're going to tell our server that we're sending back JSON. All right, now from here, let's set up one more property, and it's going to be our body. So what we're going to do is actually send what we want to update our document with. I'm just going to say JSON.stringify, and this is going to convert our JavaScript object into JSON for us. And I'm just going to say to do, and we're going to get the user's input. Well, now that we have our options set up, let's call the then method to execute this fetch request. Here, we're going to get our response from the server. Now we're going to return that response, and we're going to call a function called JSON. Now this response.json is going to return a promise. So I'm just going to go down here, and I'm going to call then, and it's going to give us our parsed data back. So now I'm just going to test to see whether or not we successfully updated our to-do. I'm just going to say if data.ok is equal to 1. That means that everything went okay. So now what I need to do is actually get our to-do element. So I'm just going to say let to-do index equal our to-do ID. Next, what I want to do is actually set our data. So I'm just going to say to-do index HTML is going to be set to the data that we just got back from the server. Now what I want to do is reset the user's input. So I'm just going to call the reset to do input function. So now I'm just going to scroll down just to check to see if we have our edit to do is being called. And it's being called here. All right. So let's actually test this out in our web browser to see if it actually works. I'm just going to save this. I'm going to open up the terminal. I'm going to clear it, Node app. And now let's head over to our browser. So from here, you can see that we have our application running. Just going to hit refresh just to make sure. And right here, I'm just going to type whatever. And now I'm going to hit edit. And you can see that our to-do document was updated. So just going to hit refresh again. Let's see if it persists to the database. And you can see that it is persisting. And let's try one more just to make sure. And you can see that it is indeed working.